Hello, hello.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the Podcast Discovery Show. We're just getting the last final touches put together, get everything put and ready, and all our notes and stuff so that we're prepared. I hope you like the nice new overlay. It looks prettier. I think it looks cleaner. I'm excited about it. We are talking about a funny show that we'll talk about it a little bit, but the topic took about 5 minutes to talk about,
It
and
did,
it was almost a 2 hour show.
but it's hilarious the whole time.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Jason Mantzoukas is ridiculously funny, and I'm excited to talk about it. He is his humor is very dirty in a way that I love, but made me feel a little bit uncomfortable about things we can't talk about probably.
Yeah, maybe not. All right, give
But it
me
was
one
it was
more
pretty funny.
second and then we're good to go.
All right, no
I
worries.
gotta close some stuff.
Raphael, the uh, the Ninja Turtle, not the artist. Oh man. So how are you guys doing tonight? Everyone doing okay? Been real stressed out or anything like that lately? I know things are getting a little stir crazy again, I feel like, with this whole COVID bullcrap. But I don't know. This whole thing's getting annoying. Yeah, I saw that, Josh. You got a back cramp. You think it might be induced by stress? I don't know, man. I wouldn't doubt it. It's been it's been crazy. Yeah, I've been noticing my body is falling apart like an old person lately. It's been a little disconcerting. My hair is all turning gray. I don't think I could ever grow my hair out again because not only is my hairline receding, but I have patches of not gray but white hair. I am not playing any guitar. No, no, no. Uh-uh.
All right,
Only
we
for
sound good
my.
on everything?
Yeah. I didn't hear you say some words again.
Check, check, check. Hello, hello, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Yep. No, you sound good. You can you turn yourself up just a tiny bit on the stream, just a little
Yep.
bit. It'll match mine.
Check, check, check. Yeah, no, I'll
That
just
should be
I'll just
better.
get it pretty close to where yours is at. It should be good. I'm like
Yep.
watching the levels anyways.
All right then. I'm ready when you are. I got a few little notes written. There's not a lot of crazy stuff to talk about, just other than them being goobers.
No, I mean, I guess we could talk about it live. I want to talk about crazy allergies like he has. I want to talk about best frozen foods. I want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about um, buffets. It was the last segment of the show, but I liked it. And I want to talk about French fries. And we could talk about Manzukis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got a lot to talk about. You got gray in your beard? Dang, Josh. I probably do too. I just don't have a beard. I can't grow one. Fries inside of ice cream. That sounds like a hipster thing that would probably be done somewhere. All right, you ready to press record on this end? On the Zencaster end?
Yeah, you're all good.
All right, we'll do 10 seconds starting now. Welcome to the Podcast Discovery Show, the podcast that's about other podcasts. And every single week, we dive deep into and have a book club style discussion about the podcast we recommended at the end of the show last week. And at the end of this show, we'll recommend a new show for next week. I want to do that one again.
Take two.
Josh rubbed off on me. I see him here. I was reading too much readings. Let's try that again. Let me write the first edit down. Great timing. 48 seconds. The first edit. Welcome to the Podcast Discovery Show, the podcast about other podcasts, where every single week we dive deep into a podcast we recommended last week and we have a book club style discussion. And at the end of the show, we give you a new recommendation and we talk about that one next week. I'm Kurt.
And I am Zach. And this week, we are talking about Doughboys.
Doughboys.
It's a show that I had been thinking about for a while because their concept is simple but hilarious. It is two comedians / actor writers who started out reviewing restaurant chains, but fast food restaurants exclusively. And they have, I should have looked up how long they've been on the air because it's a really long time now. They have a ton of episodes. And the episode we are talking about is called Topical Freeze, Ore-Ida Potatoes with Jason Mantzoukas. And
Ore-Ida.
Yeah, that's an ongoing thing there. So basically, they have Jason Mantzoukas, who people would know from a bunch of stuff, The League, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's basically hilarious in everything I've ever seen him in. And they talk about Ore-Ida frozen potato products. At least that is the setup for the episode. Because in the end, it's kind of it reminds me almost like My Brother and Me, where they kind of just talk and they're generally funny. And so they just go off on all kinds of wild tangents. And there's a general backbone to the show that is sometimes more strictly adhered to than others.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's very loose. So I did write down a note that it was 70 minutes before they got to the subject of the show.
Was it really? I knew it was a long time, but I didn't know it was like how long.
Yeah, no, it was 70 minutes before they actually got to the subject at hand, which was
the potatoes.
The potatoes. But they did intro the show talking about Ore-Ida, and I did learn something.
I learned probably that same thing.
The name is a mix between Oregon and Idaho.
And I learned that they invented tater tots.
Yes, they invented the tater tot.
Who
and I will
knew?
say that is the one that they're not great, but if I eat them, it still reminds me of childhood. It really does.
It does.
I don't know if it's the school lunches or if it's stuff that we would eat at home. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. But yeah.
Yeah, it's we talked about this on the last episode. There's food memories. And that one, you're a kid and you're having a good time and you just want some tater tots. And they always hold that special place in your heart, but I don't think they hold up as an adult.
Yeah, for sure. And the idea of the potatoes that are in the bag in the frozen aisle have a lot more appeal when I'm at the grocery store than when I actually cook them and eat them. They're usually not that great.
Yeah. No, it's really good in theory, but basically they just, for the first, I guess, hour of the episode, they kind of just goof off with Jason Mantzoukas, and they're really funny. Like I usually am not really into, obviously, Mabim Bam, we like their kind of chemistry and their style of comedy, but in general, I don't really go for the kind of just like hanging out and talking style podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I found myself laughing a lot. And it is a little bit like PG-13-ish.
They talked much more, maybe more R.
Might be closer to R.
Yeah.
Maybe just because of like two conversations.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yes.
The Binding Agent's probably the one.
Oh, God. Yeah. They talked 3 times as long about Boston than they did about the potatoes.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I don't know. It was interesting because that's the thing. And it's kind of, I guess it's kind of spoilery, but not really, because it's not really a spoiler. But at the very end of the episode, they thank Jason Mantzoukas for coming on, and he's like, "No, thank you guys, because we're all kind of trapped at home, and what people want is to be able to listen to kind of conversations that they feel like they're a part of. You know, feel like they're kind of listening to their friends talk and things like that." And that's really kind of what the podcast feels like, because it feels like people they're ribbing each other constantly, and just like it's just constant back and forth and just goofing off. And so it is really fun to listen to them joke around. So if you're looking for kind of that, honestly, I would call this long form, because how long was this episode?
So this one was almost 2 hours. It may have been 2 hours. Let me look it up. Yeah, no, it was 2 hours. So they're not super short for sure.
And literally, if they wanted to, and I don't think they should at all, but if they wanted to, they could make this podcast 20 minutes. You know, they could, because the duration of the conversation, and first of all, the conversation when they finally get to the topic of the Ore-Ida potatoes is also hilarious. Like, it's worth the wait, because the whole time I was laughing. Like, it's funny the whole time. And I have honestly, one thing that I did kind of learn through the past couple weeks where we've done this, I would listen to pretty much anything Jason Mantzoukas does. Like, I like, honestly, I think that I could just go through and search his name on like Spotify and just listen to him be on other people's shows.
And he's been on a lot of shows. I think we need to reach out to him, see if he'll come on our show.
We should.
Although most of the shows that he's on, they're pseudo celebrities that are interviewing him and whatnot. But with that said, he listens to a lot of podcasts, which I think is really cool. And he's got a very successful podcast with his friends on How Did This Get Made, which I've listened to for a very long time. I need to catch back up on that show. I haven't listened to an episode in a long time, but I mean, they're standalones and they're great, but he is so flippin' funny.
He really is.
And I will say, I've heard him on multiple podcasts as guests, and every single time he has to explain his food allergy because it's just a thing. It's such a weird thing.
I had never, actually, maybe he did talk about it a little bit on the other one, but it wasn't like anything extreme, because he was on the Scaredy Cats show, you know, that we listened to. But he has an egg allergy, which that sounds like a nightmare. You know, an egg allergy, because not because of like you can't avoid hard-boiled eggs, but because it's an ingredient in everything.
Yeah, and you don't realize some of the stuff. The one that threw me for a loop was, I didn't think about things that have breadcrumbs in them.
Yeah.
And the breadcrumbs having eggs. You know, when they were bread before they were crumbed.
Yeah. No, that one sounds extreme. But then he kind of lends an interesting perspective because of it, because he was all good trying the potatoes, but like it sounds like his entire experience whenever he goes to a restaurant is like, look, no part of this can have ever been near an egg. Like, no part of any of this dish. And so it sounds extreme to hear him.
Yeah, he tells that story about going to that fancy restaurant and the waiter getting a little perturbed with him because he kept asking, is there egg in this? He's like, no. Are you sure there's not egg in this? He asked him like 3 times, and eventually the waiter like leaves and then comes running out of the kitchen and be like, wait. There's egg in it. What was it? The glaze or something on something had egg whites on it in it. And he's like, well, then it has egg in it.
No, it was like the baked apples had egg in them or something. Like, it was something weird. Like, some weird component had egg in it, and that was all it took. But yeah, no, it was crazy to hear that. And also, one of the co-hosts on this, for anybody that's seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he plays a character on that. The other one's a comedian. So I think that they're all fairly...
What character does he play? Do you know?
On 9-9, yeah, he plays. There's an episode where they're trying to sting a mob boss.
Oh,
and
what's his name?
Idiot
What's
nephew.
the actor's name?
His name is Kyle in the show, but yeah, he's like an idiot nephew of a mob boss, and that's Mitch from this show. And essentially, I don't know. They're both so funny that it's really. I had a great time listening to it. Like I said, I don't really listen to this type of podcast much. I would say the only one kind of in this category is Mabim Bam.
Yeah, I mean, this has even got less of a structure than Mabim Bam, because the thing with Mabim Bam is it's like controlled chaos. You
Only
know what I
because of
mean?
Griffin. If Griffin was not there, it's the same show.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there is actually a structure. They're answering
Yeah.
questions, and that they have some sort of direction that they're kind of going in. Whereas this one is the same in a way that they have a thing they're going to eventually talk about, but there's so much extra stuff everywhere else that yeah, it's special.
Yeah, no, but then they get down to kind of the
The
meat and
meat and
potatoes.
potatoes.
Yeah, that was yeah. They get down to the brass tacks and they talk about Ore-Ida potatoes, and it sounds like they each got a couple different kinds that they wanted to try out. And first of all, have you ever had these? Have you ever had Ore-Ida like just fries or whatever?
Oh yeah, a lot of times.
I do
I'm
feel like
gonna
they're
see how many
mediocre.
varieties
I
they
haven't
have.
had the ones that apparently sound to me they sounded like Arby's ripoffs. You know, they called it like zesty curly fries.
Yeah,
It sounded like an
I don't think
Arby's.
I've had those either. They have ones that are supposedly like that.
No, but I've had the we actually have in our fridge right now the I think they call them like restaurant, and it's just like they're trying to make like a McDonald's fry. It is not right. It's
Yeah,
it's just not
I
it's not
man,
exactly right.
I just feel like they need to be made in the in a fryer. They got to be fried, or they don't taste right
Here's
as a
the thing I was
fry.
thinking about though. When was the last time you had a fry that you're like, wow, that is a French fry? Or when was the last time you had a fry where you're like, that's French fries? You know what I mean? I feel like the vast majority of French fries in this world are mediocre.
Where has your favorite fries consistently?
Five Guys Cajun, I can get behind.
Hmm. Okay. I don't know if I've had those. Uh. Ooh, it's thunder and lightning here.
Chick-fil-A waffle fries are pretty on point.
I'm not a fan of those. I know it's probably the most potatoy fry, like the most authentic potato, because it's a
Because it's a
potato.
potato.
Uh, but my favorite one is probably consistently Arby's. I always feel like a monster after destroying them, and my stomach hurts, but they're real good.
I do feel
My
like I feel
second
bad every
favorite would
time.
be something about it, man.
It's
Mainly
so
because
rich.
I always get like the largest fry you can get.
Yeah, I mean I do that too. That's just part of it. If
So
you're
I
gonna
think
get
that's part
fries,
of
you
it.
have to feel like I regret everything about my life afterwards.
But my second favorite would be Checkers or Rallies, from where depending on where you're at. But every now and then they overcook them and they're not as good. So
Mm.
my consistent favorite would be Arby's. Them curly fries with all that seasoning, they're good. I cannot find a whole list of all of the Ore-Ida products. They have like mashed potatoes.
Do they? I guess there's
Yeah.
leaning into like anything potato. We got it. We
And
got
they have
potatoes.
they have mastered the SEO because the whole first page is only their website. They're like I don't know how, but every single thing on Google is their website.
I
That's
mean, you searched
interesting.
Ore-Ida, right?
Yeah, but I put like all Ore-Ida products. They have waffle fries, crinkle fries, golden crinkles, tater tots, golden twirls, which is just curly fries, golden steak. Dude, they're okay. I found all the products now. Here we go. Country style French fries, zesty straight fries, sweet potato crinkles. Uh, they have these boxes that I used to make for my kids. It's like crinkle fries, but they're in like this box. You peel off the box and just put it, and you can put it in the microwave, and they're actually almost as good. They're actually maybe better than the ones you put in the oven, which is
Really?
kind of crazy.
I
Yeah.
would not believe that.
Yep, they're good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's okay. But that's the thing is like I feel like in general French fries are mediocre. So then frozen ones that aren't actually fried, you're not going to get a great French fry out of that.
Have you ever owned a fryer?
No, like a deep fat fryer?
Yeah.
No.
I did for like a year of my life. That was the fattest year I've ever been. It was when Jenny was pregnant with Leah, and I fried everything. So everything that you could buy, there's a lot of things that you buy at the store that can be cooked in the fryer.
Anything
Maybe they
can be fried
shouldn't
if you
be,
believe in it.
and everything tastes a lot better. But my house always smelled like a McDonald's kitchen, and I was always greasy.
I was always greasy.
and I ate way too much deep fried food. But I loved making these kind of things. In the tater tots were the ones that were just so much better. In
Honestly,
a
because you
fryer.
get them crispy.
So much.
You know the outside is
That's what
crispy.
it is. That's what it is. And they cook so fast. You just throw them in there, like 2 minutes, they're done, and they're crispy. It's like I put them in for 20 minutes in the oven, and they're half as good as this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a very dangerous game to have a fryer in your house.
I believe that.
I had one of those little ones that had like a lid on it and stuff like that.
Oh, so you could use the oil multiple times?
Yeah, that oil got nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing some thunder outside my house too.
Yeah, we got a hurricane bearing down on us soon. See if we're gonna dodge it or not. We'll see what the weather guy says tomorrow.
They also had a segment on this show called "The Pie in the Sky," so they got like a pun thing going on, which
you
was
guess that pie.
Yeah, guess that pie, and then you essentially they had like it sounds like they have a lot of that kind of. It's like a better version of a morning radio show. It's like if I ever had to choose, do I listen to the radio and hear two people talking, or do I listen to Doughboys? It would always be Doughboys.
They even made a jingle for it specifically for this episode.
Yeah, and
because they had Jason Mantzoukas' name in it.
Yeah, yeah, no, and they definitely razzed him for making that, but it was worth it. They commit, and that's the thing that I really liked about this show is commitment to hardline stances. Like I'm trying to remember. Oh, they were talking about ketchup. And Mantzoukas said, "If someone brings me Hunt's, I will literally punch them in the throat and leave." And it's like,
I'm right there with him.
oh no,
I'm right there with him.
There is one champion of ketchup, and it's Heinz.
Heinz.
I don't feel like it's. If anybody says that it's Hunt's, you have to question their character as a person. I think at that point.
I remember restaurants around here literally having a different ketchup during an election cycle because we live in a small
oh yeah, because Heinz
town.
Is John Kerry, like right?
John Kerry's wife's family's company. Oh god, I remember going to restaurants around here and they took all the Heinz out and put Hunt's, and I'm like, what happened? Why did you become a much worse restaurant?
Yeah, it's like I was even in that world at the time where that was kind of something I heard. But I was like, Hunt's is not as good as Heinz. That's not going to work for me, actually. So, yeah.
Apparently, we're the gatekeepers of French fries and ketchup now.
Yeah. That also was the most idiotic thing that I can possibly remember.
Yeah.
But it essentially, I like taking hardline stances on things that are not that serious. Like them talking, and they give all of the different potatoes a grade. One of them really, like, the takeaway from this episode is we need to try the zesty curly fries, I think is what he called them.
Mm-hmm.
Because those sounded like the one. Every other one, mediocre, not great. But like we said, I don't think that fries, I think that there's a high standard to get a good fry. I think there's a lot of medium level, mediocre stuff out there. But they said that one's really good, so we got to try that out. But there was one thing they had another segment at the end where I guess they take in emails from people. And the email was saying that he was essentially thinking that buffets are done. Like, they're not going to make it through COVID. And I did not know Sweet Tomatoes had gone bankrupt or shut down, whatever they did.
And I didn't know they had another name that is
yeah, we're in the
needed
South.
To die a long time ago.
Yeah, we're in the South, and we didn't even have the plantation name. Like, where was that?
Soup Plantation is the name of it somewhere else in the U.S.
Yeah, where? Like, where is more southern? Like, I don't know. I don't know how they made the distinction. I don't know how they went from soup plantation to sweet tomatoes, but then kept some soup plantations. Like, just change it. Just hard switch. You don't need a partial there because one has plantation in it and one has tomato in it. Like, it's not. It seems like not a hot take. Hold on 1 second. I feel like you're going to be getting Moses. I don't know why he's barking.
Yeah, I am getting him. So yeah, let me write that down. Is Will screaming? I'm just kidding. It was so funny when Will was mad the other day and was crying, and then Moses was just howling with him.
Yeah, no, Moses thinks that's him howling, so then they howl together, and it becomes very loud very quickly in the house.
I get that. Yeah, maybe, does he not like thunder? Is that a thing with him?
He is right outside my door now.
Yeah, he
Moses,
is.
shut it. I mean, you could think that like the thunder is like, I'm gonna go give him a pepperoni.
That'll make him stop barking and not.
It will. That dog loves food. He's very food centered.
My dog, you give him something and then he comes and he.
Well,
he
while
just
we're
gives you
waiting
this-
on my dog to
cute
shut up,
faces.
does anybody have any favorite frozen foods from anybody watching? Anybody watching? Favorite stuff to throw in the freezer that's ready when you need it?
Yeah, I gotta think about what mine is. What's my favorite frozen food?
I'm honestly
Oh,
gonna
I
go
got
check
mine.
on Moses and figure out what he's doing. Well, everybody, we want to hear what your favorites are because we're gonna talk about it right after this unintended break.
No, already frozen, and then you take it home and then you make it. Like you buy it in the frozen section, and then you can make it at home and it actually tastes good. I know what mine is. It's a secret until we're recording again. You do love that ice cream, huh? I mean, technically, that works, right? I mean, it's a frozen food. But yeah, let's do one that you have to cook. Because that's the thing, is when you're changing it from frozen to not frozen, it's very hard to get something that actually comes out good. Other than like pizza rolls. But it's not like good as in good. It's just like, oh, this vaguely reminds me of a pizza. And I was really wanting a pizza. And now I don't need pizza anymore because I have pizza rolls. But you can't make them in the microwave because that's just so bad. You can't make them in the microwave.
Yeah, I guess it was that. You think that's why he was barking too? Yeah.
You cannot see Normie, Mason, and Leah. He's in there with Mommy. My kids are in one of the chats. Ooh, I like that one, Josh.
Okay, so this is potentially goofy, but I don't think that was thunder. I do think it was what Moses was barking at. But apparently the president is in Tampa right now, and there was a enormous firework display, Tampa word, that literally sounded like thunder, like crazy thunder. To be fair, I did think that the apocalypse was about to start based on the storm sound, but that is what sent Moses into a rage.
Yeah, Trump's right down the road.
Trump just ruined our podcast.
Just another thing.
All right, did we get any responses to favorite frozen goodies?
We did. I got my kids answered, and Josh gave his. I have mine. Twig says she has two, but she hasn't put them in here yet. But she'll put them in here, and we'll talk about what our favorites are. Ready to write down the back in edit?
You talking to me?
25. Yeah. I'm writing it down, but
No.
are you ready to get back into
Yeah,
it? What were we
yeah, I'm
talking
ready.
about?
I was like,
What
do
were we
you
talking about when we first stopped?
I was like, do you want me to write it down? We were talking about frozen goodies, right?
We hadn't started it yet. You said that off mic or off recording, basically.
Does anybody remember what we were talking about immediately before this?
Before the dog started barking. Oh, this is, yeah. Just lead us in to the discussion about foods. Oh, we were talking about soup plantation. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Buffets. So we do need to finish that
Yeah,
conversation.
we do need to finish buffets. Okay. So essentially, the idea of buffets now freaks me out, honestly. I have not. And okay, to be fair, I'm kind of with Manzukis on this one. It kind of grosses me out to begin with. Like, I haven't been to a Golden Corral type place in a long time because it doesn't feel clean, and that's not really the vibe I'm going for when I'm eating. And it's mediocre food. I just don't. It wasn't really for me, and like I'm not gonna pay $12 to get diarrhea. Like it's not something that I'm really looking for, and I don't know. I didn't really get into it beforehand, but then now it's like I don't think so, and so I feel like they're gonna struggle, and I feel like they're gonna go down. And the only place that I actually went to that was a buffet I haven't gone to for a while for unrelated reasons.
Yeah, they are open again. And I asked Jenny, my wife, I'm like, how are they open? And apparently they have gloves and you have to have your mask at all times. And they have disposable gloves that you have to put on to grab the spoons and stuff to serve your plate. And then you throw them away at the end of the thing.
Not bad.
I mean, it's a solution kind of. I don't think this is the time for it. I am a big buffet guy. I love me a buffet. I specifically love me a good Chinese buffet. Just saying. Uh, I I know that they're kind of notorious for not being the cleanest places, specifically the kitchens, but uh, I do, and I have gotten sick from too many buffets.
Yeah, that's part of the territory.
I will say I do like Sweet Tomatoes a lot, though. I loved that place.
No, you did.
I did love that place.
Soup Plantation is dead.
I will say one of the most disappointed I've ever been in my life at a restaurant was the first time I went to a Sweet Tomatoes. We were on a soccer trip to, I believe, Jacksonville, and I had never been to a Sweet Tomatoes before. And I remember going in, and you know how you go through the salad line the first time? Are you allowed to go in that line again, like to get another salad? Or
Yeah,
no?
isn't it buffet? Yeah,
But it's the weird one that's like you walk in, there's a salad, then you pay for your stuff, and then you go sit down. It would be weird. It would be like going anyway. I didn't know you
I
could do
went
that
back. If that wasn't allowed, I definitely did that.
again. But I remember being so hungry and going through that salad line, which is when you first come in, getting the tiniest little salads. I'm like, oh man, I'm ready for some buffet food. And I get in there and I'm like, wait, where's the fried chicken?
Yeah, it's mostly the salads.
Where's the food? I mean, there's the salad bar, but where's the food? Like, where's the main course? And I'm like, wait, I can get a baked potato? That's my main course? And I was very disappointed. Then later on, as an adult, going back with that in mind, I enjoyed it. But I was so let down the first time I went as a high school student that really wanted some meat.
I also feel like it's probably because honestly, there is one in our local area that's pretty good, and we would go lay down some eating because that's part of my problem, and that's part of the reason why I have to limit. Because one guy talked about he could only do one trip. That is not at all my experience. I have to choose not to go back because I can put away some food, and if I don't consciously stop, I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to feel really bad.
The local one in town that you were talking about that we all go to or have used to go to, we would go with our boss all the time when he would come into town.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we would eat there, first of all, I wanted to take a nap by 2:00. And second of all, I would make sure that I did not. I just would not eat dinner because I would be so full.
Oh
from
yeah,
lunch.
no, same thing. Yeah, I would eat
never ate
40,000 calories in one meal, and I'd be like, I'm good for a week now.
Yeah, but I hope that not all buffets will be gone because I'm a buffet man. I like buffets, clean ones. There's a few that I'm like, nope, I'm not touching.
No, that's the thing.
One.
I didn't feel dirty at our local one.
Yeah.
It didn't
Like
feel
there's another one that's
disgusting.
called like the Plant City Southern Town, whatever that thing. That
I've been
place
there, and it's bad.
looks scary, dirty. Like I don't know
I
how
went
they're
there
open.
one time, and I was like, I got stuff that was really hot, and then a limited amount, and then that was it. Never went back.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
this episode's all about frozen food. So we've got to talk about what our favorite frozen foods are. So what's your favorite frozen food, Zach?
this is a tough one because I feel like there's some good stuff. Okay, here first I will start with the trash person choice. Frozen burritos are okay. I realize that it's disturbing the texture, maybe the ingredients, but it tastes great. I don't know why. It's always just been. I've always thought it was delicious. And so frozen burritos taste amazing, but it's another one of those things I choose not to get because I can house some burritos. But honestly, are we talking frozen food or can I say like Ben and Jerry's?
Well, Twigs has already tried to game the system that way. I said it's got to be something that comes in frozen and you got to cook it because that's the whole thing is how it ends up later. Like, does it taste good?
I feel like it's oversalted, but in general, frozen lasagnas are pretty good.
Dang it, that's mine. Mine is frozen lasagna.
Yeah, and okay, then I'll switch it up. Freschetta frozen pizzas are also pretty on point.
Oh, they are pretty good. They are pretty good. But yeah, we asked chat what their favorite foods were, and apparently my kids are watching. They're at their grandma's house, and their favorite is mac and cheese, along with Twiggly's favorite. But hers is a specific mac and cheese, and it looks amazing. She put the link in here.
Yeah, she
It's
has fancy mac and cheese.
truffle mac and cheese from Whole Foods brand pizzas. I haven't had either of those. The truffle mac and cheese looks amazing, and I've never heard of that brand. It's like love but spelled backwards. Evol.
The types of frozen food that Twigs is talking about makes me really feel like a garbage person because I said
Right?
frozen burritos and lasagna.
Yeah. And I met when you weren't here. I was talking about pizza rolls, and it gives you the semblance of a pizza when you're really craving a pizza. It's not really a pizza, but it reminds you vaguely of a pizza. So then you don't crave pizza anymore. And it is definitely something that is easy to make while you're gaming or something like that. So it works for that purpose.
Yeah, it does do that.
All right, so are we good then? 33.
Probably out of 5, but yeah, that's fine-ish because
did
we
wanna
have to play
talk
Keith's
about-
thing.
Can we close up talking about Jason Mantzoukas one more time real quick? I meant to mention it's not a big deal. I was going to mention his thing on I just thought it was really cool when he talked about being in John Wick 3 and how it was basically he was just a big fan and he was so vocal about it. They're like, "Hey, we got a small role. Do you want to be in this one?"
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, definitely.
One more thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap up is I know this kind of is off topic a little bit because we already talked about Jason Mantzoukas, but I thought his story about him being in John Wick 3, which I just watched like a week and a half ago for the first time, and I saw him in it, and I'm like, hey, he's in this movie, but it's a small role. But I loved how he talked about how he was just such a big fan, and he was so vocal about it, like on social media and stuff, that they're like, hey, we've got a small role in this upcoming one. Do you want to be in it? And he's like, well, yeah. And he was in John Wick 3, which was a good movie. I kind of wish they would have wrapped the story up. They did not. They're going to keep making them, apparently.
Yeah, they're going to keep milking that franchise until it's dead.
They're going to kill it. They're going to kill it for sure. I did get confused multiple times in that one because it got a little convoluted. But the fight scene, they're just so good. My wife she couldn't stop watching, but at the same time, she's like, this movie is just one giant fight scene.
She's not wrong.
They've been trying to kill each other for an hour and a half without almost any other dialogue.
Get ready for 2 more movies of the same.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, no, she's not wrong. But yeah, overall, really, really fun show if you are at all interested in junk food and funniness.
Oh shoot, I forgot something. Josh said what his favorite frozen
Oh,
food was
all
too,
right. Josh's frozen food.
and I snubbed his real bad, real hard. Ooh, he likes the frozen steamed broccoli. It is very fast to make in the microwave. I will say that it has zero flavor. It tastes like water mixed with a little bit of a fart, uh, because that's what broccoli tastes like. I like broccoli, but you got to smother that with butter or cheese, which then kind of defeats the
That is
purpose,
still
in
an
my
option for
opinion.
you. That is still an option for
I mean,
you.
that's the way I eat broccoli most of the time,
Yeah.
or raw, smothered in ranch dressing.
So you don't actually like broccoli, is what
I
I'm
guess
hearing.
not. I think I just figured out that I don't like broccoli, guys. I thought I did.
If you always have to put some very strong flavor on it, maybe not. Okay, so for a special treat, we have been talking about for a long time now. I don't really know what specific episode we're on. Do you have a general sense?
We are well past 100, but we can say this is our 100-ish
We're well past 100
episode. I
combined
wouldn't say
episodes or
well.
just PDS?
Just PDS, we're probably a little bit over 100.
Okay, we don't know how many technically. So we're calling this our 100-ish celebration. And so, like we've done before, we didn't want to recommend a podcast between the two of us. We wanted to reach out to some of the friends of the show and have them recommend a show for us to check out. And so our first one, we actually got a call in from our film correspondent, Keith, with a recommendation for our first in our 100-ish celebration. So check that out. All right, let me know if the levels on this aren't good, because I'll mess with them.
All right, I'm putting the spot where I'm going to need to plug this in the edit.
Hey, PDS boys.
Oh my goodness.
What's up? This is KG from the Pop-Up Filmcasting. The apparently very,
I can hear
very
it. Set's good.
poor movie
Yeah, but you just talked
correspondent.
over, so I got to
Of course,
restart it.
the official
You don't have to
movie
restart.
correspondent, and then movies stopped getting made for a while. So I'm not going to put that totally on me, but I should really call in more with some old school options. But specifically today, you guys are looking for some podcast recommendations to help celebrate your 100th episode. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna call a movie for your ears. I don't think you guys have really touched on audio dramas very much. A lot of good ones out there. Ones by Q Code. I've listened to a lot of those lately, like Carrier or Baraska or The Left Right Game are all really good. But I think one that a lot of people could get into and that is very well done is Marvel's Wolverine. There are 2 seasons of them out there. They are about 10 or 12 episodes each, about 30 minutes per episode. It is fully acted out. They have great voice actors working on them. I think they put them first on Stitcher, but then eventually they end up on Spotify. So I do know the 2 seasons are on Spotify. So go ahead and you can check those out. That'll be my recommendation to you guys until I can get you some legit movie reviews, is to check out the movies for your ears. Listen to a podcast called Marvel's Wolverine. All right? Keep up the good work, guys. Talk to you later.
All right, thanks so much for Keith at Pop-Up Filmcast for sending over that recommendation. So next week, we're going to talk about, I don't know, should we do a couple episodes of the first season of Wolverine?
Yeah, let's reach out to Josh. Are you still here? We won't put this part in because I remember Josh had a favorite episode in that series. We were talking about, I think it was like 6 or 7. It is a serial series, so you kind of have to listen to all of them, but it would make sense pretty much, I think. No, we should probably start at the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's
an audio drama.
I think it's
You
a
probably
narrative,
need to.
right?
No, it definitely is. I listened to all of them. They are really good. I love how. Oh, we'll talk about this when we get back on. Let me put this right here. All right. Say thank you again. Let's do the first 3 episodes. They're very short.
Okay. So thanks to Keith for sending in the first of our bonus recommendations for our 100-ish episode, and we're going to check out the first 3 episodes of season 1 of the Wolverine.
Yeah, I actually listened to this whole series, and it is really good. And I really love how Keith, our movie correspondent, decided to give us a movie for our ears.
Yeah. No, and
I
I'm
love
sure
that.
he's feeling it, because no movies have come out in like
Yes.
5 months. Feels weird.
It feels weird. It does feel weird.
I don't know. But yeah. That's all for this week. And remember,
Friggly fraggly. See you next week.
we're leaving that in.
No. What did you say that I said last time? Flippity floppity. See
I
you
mean,
on the flip
that's
side. Or
definitely what
something
it
stupid? And remember,
there's always more to discover. Okay.
I remembered this time. I just wanted to say something real stupid.
Yeah, Twigs lights it. So we're going to clip that, and that's just going to be your always ending now.
I'm excited for Todd's. I have some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I need to organize mine a little bit.
One of mine is real long, so if you have short ones, that'd be fine. Oh, gosh. Don't clip it and soundboard it. We have so many things that can be clipped into sound bites that... And it's usually me saying something real stupid. Or Josh. It was usually one of us two. Yeah. I was not comparing lengths. I was just saying that my discovery is quite lengthy. It's a lengthy discovery. One of them is from Vlado. Vlado, if you are in here, I just saw you join in the Facebook group. I am going to talk about your discovery that you mentioned about the, what is it called? The Ukrainian embroidery. Have you seen that one?
Oh,
Zach?
yeah. No, I messaged him about it on Twitter.
Do you want to do it? You
No.
probably know. Okay.
No, go ahead. You probably read about it. I'm going to talk about
I mean,
pickles.
I did. Okay. It's the pickle conversation. I got it.
All right, but first, I'm going to go make a beverage. Do you want to stay here and talk to chat, or do you want me to put up BRB?
No, I'll stay here and talk to chat.
Okay. I'll be right back then.
I'm going to throw the links to my stuff in here so they can look at it as we talk. So I'm going to throw the links to my 2 discoveries. The first one that I have is... Yep, that's the one, Josh. That's the one I was thinking about. Feed them to the hogs. But I can't do it as well as I did the first time. It was special. But the first discovery that I have is about Ukrainian embroidery. And I know that sounds boring, but it's not. It's real cool. And that is the link for that article if you want to see all of y'all's in all the places. There's a lot of people in all the different places, so it's hard to watch all of them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 different chats pulled up at the same time. It's fun. Zach's got the thing that shows everybody's together, but I don't. And then my second discovery is a crazy one. And it's a long one, but it's such a crazy story. It's about this guy. His name was John R. Brinkley. And he did this procedure for a long time, and he was extremely successful and became like a millionaire for sure of his time, like ridiculous. And it all started by doing, how do you even describe it? He would basically transplant goat testicles in people. So, like, if there was an impotent man, he would transplant them with goat testicles, and supposedly they would become potent. I don't know if that's the right term, but yeah, it's a crazy story. And then he did a bunch of other really crazy things. No, I don't want that. Here, let me put that one in chat too. See if Zach will put his discoveries in chat, because then you guys can look and see pictures and see what we're talking about. See how either me or Zach are not reading the words right. Usually that's me. Because he also had like a radio show and stuff. And he was, in a way, in a big way, he was a giant pioneer in radio, which is kind of funny because, you know, here we are essentially doing radio on the internets, the next version of radio. But it was usually for really sketchy reasons. So I'm excited to talk about that. Got a whole OneNote like page all about this story. I wish that Facebook would let us play our music, because we like to play the music. anybody have any good recommendations, let me know.
All right. So you've got...
Did you mute me?
No, I hadn't. I was AFK when you restarted Zencaster.
Because Zach said he couldn't, or Josh said he couldn't hear me.
No, I was AFK when you restarted Zencaster, so it muted you. Because it requests access again.
Oh, on the stream?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I did not know that.
Because that's how I was hearing you. It's only through Skype when we're not streaming.
Oh, yeah, because I had myself muted on Skype. My bad.
All right, you want to talk about what you were talking about again so people can actually hear it?
Nope. It's a secret now. It's lost to the void.
It's a secret. Yeah, whenever you restart Zencaster, it makes me give permission for my microphone.
I'm not drinking anything, Josh. Not yet. This is just Red Bull. I save that for later.
I save that for now.
The ram that am with every lamb.
Okay. So you got Vlados.
Yeah.
Did you want me to tell you what I'm going to talk about?
Yeah, what's your first one?
Pickles.
Pickles. All right, and then I got the Goat Testicle Man. And then what's your second one?
You say that just like...
Oh, you'll see. Oh, I'm aware, Josh. I am very aware. The dude was a special man. Can't believe I said all those heartfelt things and no one heard them.
Let's do their tube.
Their tube. Okay.
It's a short one. I brought some short ones this time since you said you have and I mean the one you're talking about that was a long one is Vlados, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, should be good then.
To be honest, I mean, I did read the article for Vlado's one, but I didn't do as much research as I wanted to do. Just didn't have enough time. So if we don't have enough time, we might save that one for next week. Because maybe then we can talk a little bit more about it. It's not a huge article.
Oh, are you talking about the one that Keith recommended for us?
Yeah, we got to talk about that too. The one that he mentioned we were going to do last week, but then we decided we wanted to watch some of it before we...
Do you want me to look up that guy's name?
Yes.
What's his name? Darren Olean, right?
Just put Darren in. And it's like one of the first ones that comes up, for real. That's how I found it the other day, because I couldn't remember what his last name was.
Yep, that's him. So yeah, we'll talk about those two things as well. And Josh being in chat will be good, because we'll be able to talk to him about that first episode of the show.
Yeah.
What is the name of that show?
Down to Earth? Is that it? Or something like that? I think it is. Let me look it up. I'll look it up.
Yeah, Down to Earth.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to push Vlados till next week because I kind of want to look into it a little bit more and get some extra stuff on it.
Okay.
I don't want to force it. All right. All right, I'm going to hit the record button on Zencaster. Welcome to the other Discovery Show, the bonus show from the Podcast Discovery Show where we talk about all the other things that we've found throughout the week. We don't talk about podcasts, it's all the other stuff. I'm Kirk.
And I am Zach. And this week, we needed to talk about pickles.
I love pickles.
Yeah, and Kirk actually posted on our Facebook page this week about pickles. And so there's some more interesting stuff you can get into. But basically, I just wanted to kind of figure out the cultural background of pickles, because we all love them. We've all had them in a wide variety of different settings. And pickles, one of the weird things is in America, pickle almost exclusively means cucumber, means pickled cucumber, but pickling is preserving. So it's weird that like we stuck on one specific thing. We really like the pickled cucumbers, I guess. But when I was reading about this, it literally, the first like written records of it was from India around 2400 BE or BC, BCE, I think is what they call it now. So like a really long time ago.
BE means before everything, right?
Yeah, no. But Indian pickles are mostly prepared in three ways: salt brine, oil, vinegar, with mango pickle being the most popular among all. And what
mango pickle?
I'm trying to figure out if that's a mango that is pickled,
Probably.
or pickles that have a mango
I bet it's
flavoring
pickled
in there.
mango. I bet it's pickled mango.
Honestly, I could see that being pretty good.
Yeah.
I could get behind that. But I also read a little bit about kind of how all this works, because we were talking about doing this. We only grew one cucumber and it was completely inedible, so it's going to have to wait until we can grow more effective cucumbers. But it's interesting because this is like that when I brought up fermentation that one time, it's kind of like that, because essentially you're doing the same thing, but you're doing it in a acidic environment. So a distinguishing characteristic is a pH of 4.6 or lower, which is sufficient to kill most bacteria. It can preserve perishable foods for months. Antimicrobial herbs and spices such as mustard seed, garlic, cinnamon, or cloves are often added. So you have more antimicrobials in there. And if the food contains sufficient moisture, a pickling brine may be produced simply by adding dry salt. For example, sauerkraut or kimchi, which both of us are huge fans of kimchi.
Yeah.
And it literally, they do just salt it and add a bunch of seasonings, and eventually it's just going to make some deliciousness going out. And it's a natural fermentation, but it's in a very acidic environment, and it literally switches the types of bacteria as it gets more acidic. So when you first make it, there's I don't know if I want to even try and pronounce these. Leuconostoc no, it's not going to happen. So there's one kind of bacteria that goes in a fairly salty but low temperature thing. But then as it gets more acidic, then it changes the type of bacteria that's active in it, and it continues to ferment. So all of this is like this crazy process of antimicrobial things that are doing work. But then you look at the worldwide kind of usage of pickles, and it goes all over the place. A lot of times people are doing basically any vegetable, and you have to assume this is because of its ability to preserve it. When there was scarcity and when there was basically any time where there was poverty, which is always, it helps to be able to store food for long amounts of time.
Yeah.
And so basically every culture has pickled something, pickled multiple everythings. And so you can see a wide variety of random stuff. A lot of them have fruits. A lot of Southeast Asia has fruits. Like Singapore has papaya and pineapple, sometimes pickled, which sounds pretty interesting. There's a lot of radish and a lot of the root vegetables. Pretty much everybody also does cucumbers, so I feel like it's universally
pickled fruit.
I can't think of any.
Did we have? Was it that?
I've had pickled
watermelon
beets.
rind?
No, beets a tuber.
That watermelon rind that we had that one time from that place, was that pickled? I think
it was pickled.
And it was weird because it was like the outside of a watermelon.
Yeah, it was tasted good
pickled,
though.
It was like soft and it was good.
I feel like it's cheating when you pickle it though. It just tastes like a pickle.
Yeah, it kind of did. But I'm curious what some of these sweet fruits would taste like pickled.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. And then there's one thing that is very accessible here that I have to like try out now. I think it's pronounced giardiniera, and it is from Italy originally. And what it is
Giardiniera.
one more time.
Giardiniera.
There it is. So what it is it is pickled a lot of times peppers, like a lot of different kinds of peppers, depending on the kind of heat you want. You pick your peppers based on that. But it essentially has carrots, celery, it has cauliflower, and then it has a bunch of peppers, and it'll have gherkins too, so it'll have pickles in it as well. But this, I think, is what they put on like the Chicago hot dogs. This is very popular in Chicago because of like a lot of Italian immigrants moved into Chicago, and this became a thing. So it's like spicy pickles that I want to introduce to hot dogs. And they say it's really good for Chicago. I think they call it Chicago beef sandwiches. And then also like they do it on the sausages and stuff too. And they say it's good on pizza. So that's one that I definitely want to try out.
That sounds like a chow chow. You know what a chow chow is?
Fluffy dog.
It's like a pickled relish, but it has peppers and stuff in it.
It sounds good.
It's like a southern thing, I think. But yeah, that's what made me think of it. I looked it up, and yeah, it is a thing. I'm not crazy. It's not just something my dad used
chow
to
chow?
say. He's like, "Give me some of that chow chow." Yeah.
No, I have to look it up so I can see what this looks like.
It looks it's like a relish, but it's not.
When I look it up, it's literally a fluffy dog. I knew it.
Nope, not. Look up chow chow slaw. Chow chow slaw. It's a North American pickled relish. Its ingredients vary considerably depending on whether it's in the north or the southern variety, as well as separate Canadian varieties prevalent in the Maritimes.
Yeah, and I think I haven't ever really gotten into pickled meats. That's something.
Man, gross.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and you like eggs. I watched you eat an entire bag of eggs yesterday or 2 days ago.
I ate so many.
And if you think
eggs.
I'm like exaggerating, no, he had a bag of eggs, and he ate.
They were gonna. I made a bunch of deviled eggs, and there was a lot left over, and they were gonna go bad if I left them in the fridge. So I brought them for lunch. So I ate 9 eggs for lunch.
I'm trying to remember
with
what
other
else you
stuff.
ate. It was like eggs, salmon, and kimchi.
That's exactly what I ate.
So, if you're wondering, there was a myriad of smells that combined to make a rich tapestry smell.
Yeah, it was special. Now, talking about pickles, we got to talk about the thing that we just discovered is a thing that we're going to try now.
Oh, we're definitely doing this. We talked to the group about this too.
And so we talked at length because actually people in our podcast Discovery Club have done it, and it is Kool-Aid Pickles. And it sounds really easy to do, according to them and looking it up.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It sounds so weird, but apparently this is like some hipster thing that is blowing up and people love it. So basically you take a jar of pickles, you pour out a little bit of the juice, and you put a packet of
No, you need to pour it
Kool-Aid
all
in
out
there.
into a bowl so you can mix it right.
whatever. But you're just putting Kool-Aid in a jar of pickles.
You add
And then you let
Kool-Aid
it
and
sit
sugar
for like a week.
to dill pickles, and you let it sit there, and people love it. Has anyone tried this? Has anyone tried Kool-Aid pickles? Who knows? But we're going to try it.
It seems so weird. But we are going to try it. It sounds interesting. I have a inclination that I actually might like it. I'm going to be a Kool-Aid pickle man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, we love pickles, and we wanted to talk about them. And there's also, if you want to read some more funny stuff, there's some more on our Facebook group that you can go check out that Kirk posted by coincidence with a typo this week.
It's not a glaring typo. It's just a small one, and that's why it snuck past me. Zach, jeez, why you gotta call me out like that, man?
Because it's funny.
All right, so I have a discovery this week that I could not talk about. It is from a podcast. I heard about it from a podcast.
How dare you?
Like I said, in the time where you had me muted, well, I muted myself technically, and no one.
Yeah, I
could hear
didn't
me when I
change
was talking
anything.
for a long time. What I was saying was, I have been listening to a ridiculous amount of Reply All. In the last month, I've listened to like 80 episodes, and I listened to one this week that blew my mind about a man that I had never heard about. And I'm going to put the link again in the chat because we got a few new people in there, but I want people to like look at this and see more stuff about this guy because I can't talk about everything, but this guy is crazy. His name was John R. Brinkley. Okay. And for those that are playing at home, this is his Wikipedia page. The episode that I heard this on was from Reply All episode number 86. I'm going to put that link in the show notes. And it's called Man of the People. And long story short,